The Australia versus Afghanistan Champions Trophy game is going to be a potential knockout for one team and an actual knockout for the other. If Afghanistan win this, they are going to qualify for the semis of the Champions Trophy, but if they lose, they'll be eliminated from the competition. And if we talk about Australia, they win and they are in the semi-finals, but if they lose, they'll need a favor from England, which is to defeat South Africa by a massive margin in that all-important Champions Trophy fixture. Now, as far as the weather of Lahore is concerned, which is going to be the venue of the game between Australia and Afghanistan, well, one thing that I can tell you very surely is that our reporter Nikhil Nas told us that it is raining in Lahore today. But how's the weather really going to hold up for tomorrow's all-important game between Afghanistan and Australia? Well, let's have a look. The timings that are mentioned here in this AccuWeather report, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. This is with respect to the Pakistan time, which means that they are half an hour behind the Indian Standard Time. So the match as far as the IST is concerned is 2:30 p.m. IST, and the match when it starts in Pakistan is 2 p.m. So at 2 p.m. basically there is 20% chance of rain in Lahore. Now this is not just with respect to the Gaddafi Stadium. This is 20% chance of precipitation in all regions of Lahore. It could be near the Gaddafi Stadium. It could be anywhere also in any place of Lahore. But there is just a 20% chance, which is pretty much a good news as far as this match is concerned. Even at 3 p.m. also 20%, 4 p.m. 20%. So which means that if rain pretty much stays away from Gaddafi Stadium, we could have an on-time start. Now moving on, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. there's an even better news, not just for Australia and Afghanistan, but for the cricket fans in general. 5 p.m. it's 20% chances of precipitation. 6 p.m. just 13% here, which is pretty much negligible, and that's great news. And at 7 p.m. there is an even better news, that's 0% chances of precipitation. So which means from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. there's hardly any major threat of rain. And at 8, 9 and 10 p.m. it's completely 0%, which means that if match lasts the full distance, one thing is for sure, that there could be a proper 100-over game without any major interruption of rain. And that's what both the teams would really be looking forward to, knowing that it's a high-octane game for both the sides. For Australia, it's really going to be the case of carrying forward their momentum that they sustained in the game against England and qualifying for the semi-finals of the tournament here. But for Afghanistan, maybe the stakes are even going to be higher. Remember, they defeated Australia in the 2024 T20 World Cup. But then, as far as the ODI format is concerned, the last time two teams faced in an ODI, well, there was a heartbreak for Afghanistan because they were clearly maxwelled in that game at the iconic Wankhede Stadium. So for Afghanistan, it's really going to be a revenge match. But then more importantly, they would really want to be focused on qualifying for the Champions Trophy. So stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye and good night.